Alex Dunphy had the kind of childhood most parents dream about. Straight A's, no drama, never a problem. The perfect kid. And for 11 seasons, her family took full advantage of that. Let me explain. But first, you have to understand the trap she was born into. Is what gets me about Alex. She got punished for being good, not on purpose. But that is what happened. Think about how the Dunphy house worked. Haley was the chaos. Bad boyfriends, bad decisions, social drama every other week. Luke was the baby, the one always getting into something, always needing a hand. So where does that leave all of Phil and Claire's attention? Right, on the two kids making noise. And Alex, the one quietly doing everything right, gets left to handle herself. And I think that is the part people miss. The family did not ignore Alex because they did not love her. They ignored her because she was easy. She did her homework, she solved her own problems. She even tutored Luke in his math. So everyone just assumed she was fine. Smart kid, good grades, no drama, must be doing great. But that is the trap, and it is a real one. There is actually a name for this. Some people call it the glass child. The kid who looks so strong and so competent that the parents stop checking in because checking in feels unnecessary. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, and Alex never once squeaked. So the pressure just built and built behind a straight A report card, and nobody thought to look. And the first sign of how deep it went goes all the way back to when she was little. But what she hid as a little girl tells you everything. Let me tell you the details that honestly broke my heart a little. When Alex was a young girl, she got obsessed with winning a school spelling bee. Not casually interested. Obsessed. She studied, she drilled, she poured herself into it, and she won. You want to know the word she spelled to take the trophy? Responsibility. I am not making that up. The smartest, most responsible kid in the family won a spelling bee on the word responsibility. And here's the gut punch, her parents had no idea she was even in it. They did not know she entered. They did not know she won. This whole moment that meant the world to her happened completely off their radar. We only find this out way later in season 5, during her therapy session in the episode Under Pressure. And in that same session, she says something that has stuck with me. She explains that once she started overachieving, the expectations from everybody just kept climbing. Teachers wanted more, parents wanted more. And still, nobody actually understood why she felt so much pressure all the time. She says it makes her feel alone in the world. A kid who feels alone in the world while living in a full house, surrounded by family. That is the cost of being the easy one. And if you think it got better as she got older, the next part is going to frustrate you. But it got so much worse when her pain became the punchline. This is the part that really bugs me, because Alex's stress was real, and the family kept turning it into a joke. Go back to Under Pressure again, because that episode says it all. It is Alex's Sweet 16. And while everyone wants cake and balloons and a party, Alex is sitting there drowning in SAT stress, completely unable to enjoy any of it. The family pushes her, blow out the candles, have fun, stop being so intense, and she finally snaps. She throws the cake and screams about some 16-year-old prodigy already doing cancer research at Johns Hopkins while she is sitting there eating cake. Now the show plays it for laughs. The cake flying everywhere, the big dramatic blow up, and it is funny, I get it. But watch what happens the very next day. The family does not sit her down. They do not ask if she is okay. They tiptoe around her, scared she will snap again. Even Haley jokes about being nice, just so she is not the first target. So the takeaway the family lands on is not that she is hurting. Do not poke the bear. And here's what gets me about that. Alex had to fix this herself. A 16-year-old researched and booked her own therapist on the family insurance and took the bus to the appointment so her dad could go to the school open house instead. Think about that. The kid in crisis arranged her own mental health care and made it convenient for everybody else. That is not independence. That is a kid who already learned nobody is coming to help. But the one moment the family actually got it is the part that hits hardest of all. But the one time they finally understood, it came way too late. Okay, credit where it is due. The show does give us one real moment, and it is a good one. In that same episode, Claire goes to the school open house and actually sits in on Alex's advanced classes, and she gets a reality check. She learns these kids face something like 6 hours of homework a night, on top of SATs and AP exams. And in the car afterward, Claire admits the truth out loud. She had never understood the pressure Alex was under. She says she could not even handle 2 hours of it and would have melted down ages ago. Alex breaks down crying, and they share this tight, real hug. And I will be honest, that scene gets me every time. It is genuine. It is one of the rare moments somebody in that family truly sees Alex. But step back for a second and think about what it actually tells us. It took Claire physically sitting in her daughter's chair, doing her daughter's workload, to finally understand. For 16 years, she did not get it. It took a school open house. That is how invisible Alex's struggle was. A loving mom needed a live demonstration before the light bulb came on. And that is the whole pattern in one episode. Comedy explosion, then a flash of understanding, then back to normal. Because here's the thing nobody likes to admit, that hug was beautiful, but it did not change the system. The next year, Alex was right back to being the easy one nobody worried about. And the show actually proves that to us in the very next example. But the next time she was down, they used her anyway. Let me show you what I mean, because this one really proves the point. Season 8. Alex comes home from Caltech with mono. She is sick, bedridden for a big chunk of the summer, burned out and run down. Now this is the perfect chance for the family to finally take care of her for once, right? She literally cannot do anything for herself. This should be their moment to show up. Instead, watch what they do. Phil basically treats her like an emotional support animal, using her to calm his own anxiety. Luke tries to copy her homework off her while she is lying there sick, and Claire uses her as the boring contrast, the dull sister she can stand next to feel fun and exciting by comparison. So even flat on her back with mono, Alex is not being cared for. She is being used. And of course, she eventually breaks down again. Frustrated, wanting to just go back to college early because school is honestly less draining than her own family. And think about what that says. A burned out kid would rather go back to the place that exhausted her than stay home and rest, because home is not restful for her. Home is where she gives and nobody pours anything back. That alone tells you everything. But the daily, constant version of this neglect is even quieter, and somehow even sadder. But the quiet, everyday stuff cut just as deep as the big moments. Forget the big dramatic episodes for a second. Some of the worst of it was just the everyday teasing. Yes, this whole family roasts each other. That is the show. But notice how Alex is almost always the punchline in a specific way. She is the weird one, the nerd, the dork. Haley constantly mocks her clothes, her social awkwardness, her tiny dating life, and quietly frames her as the less attractive sister. Alex is forever the before picture next to Haley's after. And that adds up. That does something to a kid. And here is what I notice when I rewatch. The family bonding moments almost always orbit Haley's drama or Luke's antics. Alex is usually off to the side, dropping a dry, sarcastic line, half in the conversation and half outside it. A lot of the time, she breaks the fourth wall just to comment on how she is the only serious person in the room. We laugh at that, but really, that is a kid telling us she feels alone in her own family over and over, and we just took it as her bit. Even her wins got the short end. Debate team, academic awards, getting into Caltech, which is a massive deal. Those moments get a nod, sure, but never the big emotional celebration the family throws for everyone else's milestones. Her excellence became background noise. And honestly, I think that is the saddest part of the whole thing. The smarter she got, the easier she was to overlook. But here is the part that makes the whole thing click into place. So let me pull it all together, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The parents flat out admit it. If you listen, Phil calls Alex a self-cleaning oven. Think about how telling that is. He is basically saying she runs herself, so why would he ever need to step in? In Claire's car confession, that she never understood the pressure. That is the rare moment a parent says out loud what the whole series quietly shows. They worried less about Alex, not because they loved her less, but because she never gave them a reason to worry. Even the character write-up says her parents pay less attention to her concerns because of her less capable siblings. And this is the part one really wants you to sit with, because it is not just a TV thing. This is real. In real families, parents pour their energy toward the kid who is loud, struggling, or acting out. And the kid who masks everything behind good grades and a calm face gets quietly left to fend for themselves. That is textbook emotional neglect, and the show captures it almost perfectly, probably by accident. So here is my honest take to close this out. Modern Family is a comedy, and it exaggerates everything for laughs. But Alex Dunphy is the one character whose pain was real and consistently missed by her family and by us watching. Her success was not a sign she was okay. It was the exact thing that made her easy to ignore. She told us she felt alone in the world while sitting in a house full of people who loved her. And the scariest part is how normal that is.